Thank you, Mr. President, and good morning, Senators. I rise this morning to continue my opposition to SB 79, dubbed the Destination Resort Bill. The bill that continues to change on a regular basis. And generally, we say that we continue to work on legislation down here to perfect it, but this bill continues to change to somehow buy or leverage its support. And today, I call on all of you that are running for higher office to remember that this is an assault on the women and young ladies of Georgia. And women vote, and they will vote, in fact, in 2018. In fact, the recent poll shows that overwhelmingly women are against a casino in Atlanta. I consider myself very blessed to somehow have various men, very wise men that were business partners over the years. And one piece of advice that's been very helpful to me was, past performance is indicative of future results without a radical change. So if that confuses you, let me explain. Something that's happened in the past very likely will be the same unless there's a radical change. You see, the state of Georgia has a history of creating programs with a promise that X percentage or Y dollars will be designated once the legislation is enacted. But instead, the money ends up in the general fund to be allocated through the appropriation process. Now, I'm not standing here to criticize our appropriations committee or the process, but rather highlight how this really works. For instance, let's take Joshua's Law. See, it was created by Joshua Brown, over a teen from Bartow County that lost his life in a car accident. In 2017, authored by former Rome State Senator Preston Smith, it bars teens under 17 from getting a license unless they take an approved driver's education course. It also adds a fee to traffic citations to fund the course. That seems reasonable, right? Except the 5% that originally was set was reduced in 2013 to 1.5%, and the program still fights to get the funding. Now let's take a look at the Hope Scholarship. Mr. President, can you quiet it down, please?
Senator's asking the chamber to quieten down. He can't hear himself.
Thank you, Mr. President. Now let's take a look at the Hope Scholarship. I believe the legislation for this program was scripted in 1992 under the supervision of then Governor Zell Miller and launched a year later to provide bright students who otherwise would find it difficult to go to college the ability to get a degree. The original legislation promised to give 35% of, and I quote, proceeds to education. Yet here we sit around 25% being paid. But wait. We promised to change that. This time we promised more of the proceeds to be given out. X% to Hope, Y% to rural hospitals, Z to, oh, hold on a second. Hold on, it's changed again. I need more letters in the alphabet. According to a statement posted on 11 Alive yesterday, the author of the Destination Resort Bill stated that the devil is in the details. Boy, is that an understatement. Of course, what details? The details that were yesterday, the details today, the details Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday when we're trying to get a vote. These keep changing. Ladies and gentlemen, our constituents elected us to represent them by paying attention to these details. What started as a measure to shore up the Hope Scholarship for Georgia college students has been of a grab bag. The new casino bill promises 30% for Hope, 30% for needs, 15% for rural health care, 15% trauma, 5% for rural broadband internet, 2.5% for law enforcement. Really, ladies and gentlemen, are you really buying this load? Isn't it insulting? Think about this for a second. Is Georgia really for sale? I thought we were thrilled to be #1 in the country to do business. We have an incredible rainy day fund as well as excess in the budget. And like many of you in this room and viewing online, I've had the privilege to live in many states, and Georgia is the best. And I don't believe it needs to change. With that, I close, Mr. Chair recognizes Senator from the 45th.